Hello. For this segment of our Textile Evening School, I will provide a bite-sized focus on careers that relate to the workshop this evening, which is knit. It really is bite-sized in that I will provide a summary in about 8 minutes-ish. In my previous careers chat relating to embroidery, which can be found on our YouTube channel, I talk about a range of careers. A lot of these are also applicable for students who choose knit at degree level study, so please feel free to review that video for a broader overview. For this presentation, however, after a quick review of our alumni and of market directions, I will focus on the career of one of our graduates and go into a little bit more detail about two particular jobs. I'll start with a snapshot of some of the careers that have developed for our knit alumni from the Textile degree course at Huddersfield. Eve is a senior ladies knitwear designer at Poetic Gem, based in Manchester. Having also held a number of previous design posts, including Sophie Stella and Visage, Eve also has a small illustration business too. Having worked previously for Sandra Rhodes and Zinc Design Studio, Chelsea is now working for the global fashion brand John Smedley. Laura has taken a different route and used her expertise and technical knowledge gained during her studies with us at Huddersfield to become the knitwear technician at another university. During her placement year with us, Laura worked in 3 different knitwear studios based in Berlin, Portugal, and Manchester. Emily has set up her own knitwear company called Yam Knitwear on her family's farm in Cumbria. Rearing her own specialist sheep for their wool and hand-dyeing her yarns makes this a very hands-on and practice-led business. Finally, we have April, who is a designer for a trend-based knitwear company, Route 13, having worked for a number of international-based companies previously. So before we focus on 2 particular roles, what markets tend to be a focus for a graduate of knitted textiles? Like all textile specialisms, knit is a global industry with designers from the UK being considered amongst the best due to their education. Unlike weave and print, however, knit tends to be focused on the apparel industries, which, if you do not know, is fashion or clothing. However, it can be seen in soft furnishings within interiors too. From socks and tights through to the often groundbreaking world of sportswear and performance textiles, through to children's wear, constructed knitwear is visible in all walks of fashion life. There is also a thriving hand knit and crochet market that may draw you in. So let's focus in on Kathryn Lund, who graduated with a first class honours degree from us back in 2017, having also undertaken a placement year. The image you see here is one of Kathryn's final pieces for FMP, for which she was also lucky enough to get sponsorship from the Guild of Framework Knitters, which allowed her to pay for her rent and buy specialist yarns from Japan. Upon graduation, Kathryn then got a job straight away with a Japanese company, Shimaseki, for whom we have their equipment at the university, and who, amongst other things, they manufacture specialist knitwear machines and software. Based in the UK and not Japan, Kathryn worked there for 2 years before returning to education to gain a master's in knitwear design, again getting a distinction despite studying during lockdown. Now, Kathryn is based up in Elgin, Scotland, and works for the global design house and manufacturer Johnstone's of Elgin. Kathryn became a specialist in operating the Shima software and ultimately the knitting machines, which cost tens of thousands of pounds each. There are a number of roles that can be included in this umbrella role, such as developing designs at the request of a client, creating designs that test and demonstrate the functionality of the equipment, testing of software, and the demonstration of equipment at world trade fairs. Another element of this kind of work can be training up designers and other users of the software and equipment. For this, you would develop training guides, provide support for users, and assist in the implementation of highly specialist users of the software for specific manufacturing or design needs. The job can be global, going into mills and studios all over the world, often spending a week, say, in Asia, and then the subsequent week being in the USA before you return to the UK. For Kathryn, however, she was focused on being the lead for the UK, Scandinavia, and France. Like most of us, Kathryn had to deal with working and studying during COVID. This occurred whilst completing her MA and led to Kathryn using her previous specialist knowledge gained at uni and her job to develop a purely virtual collection, which does include some excellent motion-based catwalks. Check out her website for the videos. Following the completion of her MA, Kathryn started working for Johnston's of Elgin in Scotland. Again, using her Shima knowledge from her degree placement, working at Shima to become a team lead in the design studio with the Shima system. When working in a design studio, most designers will have a small number of roles, which could include some of the following. There are other roles, of course, not included here. But to give you an idea, this might involve designing textiles, developing potential ideas for future directions, specialist colour applications, including colour matching and colour development, liaising with your clients, sales reps, studio managers, technicians, manufacturers, suppliers, etc. You may find yourself focused on translating designs, samples, and archived materials into virtual samples and catwalks. This approach is effectively used to reduce waste, timeframes of sampling, to effectively communicate concepts across to the other side of the world. Further roles could include the development of fibres or yarns in the constructed textile industry, or working closely with manufacturer of designs to ensure quality. So I hope this has provided a little further insight into some careers that can come through knit or the wider textile industry. I, for example, did a very similar job to Kathryn before I became a lecturer, training designers all over the world in specialist woven and carpet design software. And finally, if you would like a little further insight into textiles at Huddersfield, want to observe our students' work from a distance on Instagram, or maybe even find out a little bit more about studying textiles at uni, you might find these links useful. Feel free to get in touch with me directly if you like. Also, I will be covering more information on some of these roles in future evening school sessions, or feel free to ask me questions in the actual workshop. Thank you very much.